record these locally. So we'll do that, and we'll turn that one off so we're good. This is right out of, oh, I opened it up. Careful, I don't lose it all here. So this is out of the, this is a draft copy. Why the cover doesn't look, there you go. There's the inside, kind of like that. Out of the manual for manifesting abundance. If you don't have it already, message me and I'll give it to you. We also have a home study program. I don't know how many hours of videos that there are for it. It's on donation basis now. Actually, I can remember teaching this in-person, of course, workshop. It was about a 3-hour workshop. You got the DVDs with it. You got the manual for $250. People loved it. Now you get essentially the same thing, not in person, but you've got the videos plus the manual, which you don't even need the videos. The manual is designed so that it really is a manual, and it follows a 5-step process of manifesting. Step 1 is creating your perfect desire. Step 2 is living your desire on the inside. Step 3, which is where this topic fits into, is managing resistance or obstacles. That's the pretty names for them, right? The 4th step is taking inspired action. And the fifth, there we go, step is celebrating your victories. This falls under step 3, which is managing resistances. Now, there's the page right there. There we go. It's probably reversed it on the camera, but anyway. Oh, hey, Audrey, how you doing? So I'm going to read right out of the manual, and then we'll just discuss it a little bit. So in step 2 of the manifesting process, what you're doing is you're living your desire on the inside. So what I mean by that is this is like visualizing, this is daydreaming, this is fantasizing, but you're doing it for a purpose. And the purpose is to feel good. The purpose is not to make it happen. The purpose is to feel good. So as you're playing these images of your perfect desires in your awareness and you feel good, that really starts the whole process going. Now, if and as you're doing this right, step 3 will naturally find you. And step 3 is managing resistance or obstacles. This is one that I know we have all experienced, maybe not that long ago. Looking, and I'll read right from the manual and then we'll chat about it. Looking past or through or on the other side of your, I will never get through this obstacle, or I'll never get through this one. Isn't it interesting? I haven't read this for a long, long time, so it's kind of like the first time for all of us. Isn't it interesting how when one of these obstacles looms in the distance, we lose the ability to see past it? Now, these aren't the little bumps in the road. These are the freaking train wrecks that are looking at you. It's like the brick wall, and you go, oof, okay. I mean, I made it through the other ones, but there's no way I'm making it through this one. It's like our world ends right there. The point of destruction, unless something happens to avert the train heading our way. In a very real way, as we continue to look at it and not past it, it will grow larger and larger. Now, this is this whole thing. And believe me, again, easier said than done, right? A lot of this stuff, all of this stuff is simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. When you're looking at this big-ass obstacle in front of you, I wonder if Facebook will blot that out. When you say, like, shit, it blocks it out and just put asterisk, asterisk, asterisk in the subtitles. Anyway, so you're looking at it, not past it, because there is no other past it. Like, there's nothing past it, because all you can see is this obstacle, this brick wall, the train that you cannot get through. Now, when that happens, and as that happens, it makes it very hard to not become attached to a perceived outcome in an unbalanced way. So what I mean by that is, here you are, you're living your desire, and you think, oh, it feels really good, really good, really good. Bang, here's this obstacle. Then we can start to slip from flowing or allowing to trying to force our way through that. And of course, when we do that, we're introducing stress into the system. When we introduce stress or tension into the system, then the system starts to, I don't want to say break down, but in a way it almost does. It's very much hampered. It's like driving with your foot on the gas and foot on the brake at the same time. And it just follows through here. I turned the page. It makes it very hard not to try and push or force our desires through our external circumstances. So here's this roadblock, and we've got to somehow figure out how to get by it. So we slip from flowing, which then goes into expired action, step 4, to forcing, which is mean we try and get out in our physical world and somehow make this happen. One of the best ways to screw yourself around. Another one, this is so true. It makes it really, really difficult to trust in the process and to surrender, because you're seeing this brick wall that you're going towards at 90 miles an hour. And I'm just supposed to trust that somehow this brick wall will disappear or something, and this process is going to work. It's really, really difficult when that happens. And again, this flows into this. It also very effectively constricts those very things we desire to experience in our manifesting. We slipped into trying to make them happen. So 2 things. You see this thing coming at you. We lose the ability to see life past it. And even if we do, our life past it is totally dictated by whatever the obstacle is. So instead of us, because our desire is on the other side of the obstacle, right? Instead of us kind of still being able to see that, all we can see is this obstacle or this wall, this insurmountable problem. And then if there is any future past the wall, it's not that desire anymore. It's the one that this insurmountable problem is dictating, which of course is not the one you want. Now I've put this in here, and sometimes when you read this, it just irritates you when you're in these positions, but it's still true. And I'll give you some techniques you can try. Remember that it's a dance, not a wrestling match. Miracles are not earned, they're received. Because it's going to take a miracle to get through this, right? It's going to take a miracle to get through this one. Miracles are not earned, they are received. Miracles are manifested not by conquering, but through surrendering. Again, simple, but definitely not easy. And sometimes you'll read these and be irritated. I know I do, but they're still true. Miracles, this is really good. Miracles are not magic. They're very natural. Miracles do not have to be forced or coerced, but welcomed. Miracles are not something we can bargain with the universe for. Oh boy, I'm guilty of that one a lot. We cannot force the universe, we can only allow it. Now, it's just one liner here, and then I'll expand out it a little bit. By consciously choosing a point of awareness past the obstacle, it helps us to release our attachment to it and brings our world back into perspective. Like so many things, understanding the mechanics of the problem really gives us the awareness, and when we have tools to manage our way through the problem. So understanding what the mechanics, you see, because what happens is when this thing's coming at you, or when you're going at it, whatever, you're not going to think straight, and you're going to slip into this stuff. And if there is a future, the future that you were desiring and manifesting and feeling really good about, it don't even know where that is, because all you can see is the wall and this horrific future that it is predicting for you, right? So again, the first thing to empower yourself is to understand the mechanics of it. So when you see the wall, and the only thing you can see is this future that you don't want, understand why that's happening. The reason it's happening is because you're focused on the wall. Now, is the wall not real? Absolutely, the wall's real. We're definitely not going to argue that point. But chances are, if you try and force your way through the wall, you're going to get beat up pretty good. So then you're going to have to continue to double down on the manifesting techniques, whatever, to manage your way through it to the other side. So whatever this wall is predicting is your future, don't believe it. Because that's not your future. That's the future that this obstacle, a lot of times that has nothing to do with you, other than you're moving forward, so it showed up, that this obstacle is trying to predict for you, not you. So for me, by consciously choosing a point, any point on the other side of the wall, and maybe choose a point, I'm just making up numbers now, like 5 years from now, because when that wall is there, I find we often lose the ability to see past it. Maybe it's 2 days, whatever, right? We lose the ability to see past that 2 days. So by choosing a point way, hey, Russ, the power of positive energy always. Oh, well, yeah, thanks. Thanks. That is, I continually appreciate you guys for tuning in and commenting and watching it. I tell you, it means an awful lot, because what I'm seeing is my mission, if you will. Hey, Bruce, how you doing? I'm going to choose to say it's evolving and not kind of dying, although it sure looks that way at times. And so I'm doing my best to look at a point past this wall. And when I do that, I'm not focusing on the wall. I'm still aware it's there, but choose something, anything. Okay, so here's one for me. One of my go-tos is, there's a bus stop in Anaheim, and it's on, oh goodness, Catella. I can't remember the other street. There's a McDonald's beside it. There's a Starbucks beside it. And it's the bus stop that I get off when I go and get on the Amtrak to go either north to LA or south to San Diego. Haven't been on that bus stop for a long, long time, but I remember that bus stop. I even have a picture of it somewhere. And so I'll put myself in that bus stop. Sitting in the bus stop, it faces south. So when it's warm, it's usually warm there. It's really warm. And sitting on that bus stop. Now, that bus stop probably has absolutely nothing to do with this big ass wall that's coming towards me that I don't know how I'm going to get past, which is a good idea. Because it's easier to choose something because here's what tends to happen. This is where I want to go. Here comes the wall, and it's saying I'm going this way. So it's almost like diametrically opposed. You want to go left, the wall wants to makes you go right. So by choosing something that has nothing to do with that, it's easier for you to focus on it without seeing the wall. Okay? And it feels good. So that's the key, is to feel good or a little less worse. Both are really, really valuable. Right? I mean, in a perfect world, you're always, wind beneath your wings, right? But we sure as hell aren't living in a perfect world right now. That's a little bit dark. It's challenging. I did a live a little while ago talking about being sort of spiritual doesn't mean you're always being positive, right? It's not that we're not aware of the darkness. We just choose not to succumb to it. And I think there is a wall. You're aware of the wall. You're not saying the wall's not there. But by choosing a point past the wall, it'll help you to not focus on the wall. And one of the fundamental laws, if you can use that word, even psychologists agree in most cases, is whatever you focus on gets bigger. And what I like to say is whatever you focus on gets bigger. Whether you love it or whether you hate it, whatever you focus on gets bigger. So when you focus on the wall, even if you're trying to find, it's like a problem, right? The more you focus on the problem, the harder it is to see the solution, because the problem and the solution are two different frequencies. Which is why sometimes the best thing you can do when this wall is coming is just go do something else. Do anything else. Don't try and figure out how to get through it. Don't try and solve it. Don't try and beat it down. But go to your bus stop in Anaheim. Now, the normals will think you're crazy, and they're probably right, but not for the reasons that they think. Because when you go to that place where you feel good or a little less worse, you're starting to change your frequency. And when you start to change your frequency, you start to allow for the way through that wall to present itself to you. So that's the first strategy, looking past the wall. The other one is to focus as best you can all your awareness in this very present moment, in the physical right now. Because that wall that's coming to you, That isn't physical. That's a perceived outcome. Here comes a wall. You can say it's real. Yeah, but it's not here yet. Right? It's not here yet. So focus on something, anything in your physical world. A cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. This coffee tastes good, right? You focus on the coffee. So you're either going way past the wall or you're bringing it right back to here and focus on something in the physical. In both cases, you're not looking at the wall. Men in Black, I should know this. The first Men in Black, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, the guy saved the world from aliens and all this kind of stuff. So here's this problem. Oh, God, the aliens are taking over the world. And Will Smith says, oh, my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And Tommy Lee says, you need pie. And Will Smith says, the world's ending. Oh, it was the third one, I think. The world's ending and we're going to go have pie? He says, yes, you got to get your head out of it. Let's go have pie. So they go have pie. And then, of course, hey, Rosa, how you doing? Anaheim. I was just talking about Anaheim, Rosa, and one of my favorite spots. My happy place, one of them in Anaheim, is a bus stop. Oh, is it State and Catella? Oof, can't remember now. But anyway, that was my happy spot. It's a bus stop by a McDonald's and something else. Can't remember what it is. But anyway, by focus on something the physical, whatever it is, right? Because trying not to focus on the wall requires you to focus more on the wall. So then what I need to do is I need to allow my vibration to change so the way through, the solution, whatever words you want to use, finds me. Because I'm not going to find it when I'm focusing on the problem. I'm only going to find more of the problem. So the two strategies I use is I go way, way past it, nothing to do with it, or I bring my focus right back to here to, let's say, a cup of coffee or going for a walk or whatever. But when you're going for a walk, you're not thinking about the problem. You're smelling the trees. You're feeling the grass or the dirt underneath your feet. Because the frequency of the problem, I'll never get through this one. Oh, hey, Annette. So this gets syndicated all over the place, so I'm going to read Annette's comment. Yes, and amen. Having a cancer diagnosis last December, I decided no power was going to that diagnosis. Wow. Yeah, you are remarkable. I watched you as you walked through it. Amazing. I decided no power was going to that diagnosis. I just remained positive, surrounded myself in love, really enjoyed the whole chemo process because it was a new experience. And by May, I was cancer-free, changed the frequency. And thank you for sharing that, because that's a real perfect example. So Annette walked through, right? She's like, she threaded her way through this obstacle. She didn't pretend it wasn't there. She didn't try to beat the hell out of it. I mean, she probably didn't enjoy it. I mean, we don't have to enjoy everything. But she decided to give no power to the diagnosis, to that wall. Remain positive. Still had to go through the chemo process. But isn't it neat how she said, I surrounded myself with love and really enjoyed the chemo process because it was a new experience. And by May, I was cancer-free. Changed the frequency. I think we're done. That is such a perfect way to end this technique, and such a perfect example of the power we all have in choosing what we give our power to through our attention, to change the frequency, to trust in the process. I've lost track of how many I'll never get through this one I've been through. Still here. Yeah, you get some scars along the way, but you're still here. Way back when in the beginning, summer of 2004, sitting underneath a weeping willow tree, I received the phrase, warriors in training. And in many respects, that's what we are. We are warriors. Not that we're going out to pillage and destroy or anything like that, but we truly are warriors. Because we're not afraid. We're not afraid to sort of step into those areas that so many other people won't. We're not afraid to step into those areas that maybe we will get wounded. Maybe we will get our ass kicked sometime. Maybe we will have some scars, literally and figuratively, when we go through it. But we're going to do it anyway. because life is designed to be lived. And that's what we're all here to do. And together, we're going to do that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah, this has been really nice. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. We're all in this together. We'll see you on the web.